2. We are live. It's Friday. We made it to the end of the week. Hope you all had a great week and enjoying your Friday so far. It's good to have you here. We're doing some game dev as was our original plans for Fridays, doing game dev. Not done it for a little while. But we're doing game dev again on Friday for the time being, as well as on Wednesdays. And I'm hoping to get a demo out today of what we've been working on. So let's switch over to the main screen and have a start on it straight away. And I've been doing a little bit of work off stream, just to kind of think about things without me having to think about the stream as well. And I've actually made some good progress. So to catch up on what I've been doing off stream. Hey Finn, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Welcome in. You're the first person here. Yeah, just to catch up on what I've been doing. I've played around a little bit with the sound. So the rock hitting the building now has a slight tweak in the pitch to make it sound a bit more interesting. Revamped the hand waving animation, so that's kind of a bit better now. Doing good, glad to hear. I've also animated the trebuchet. That's animated now, so that's triggering in. And we put some background music in. So we've made quite a bit of progress. Sort of off stream, because yeah, just kind of chilled, had a look at it when, you know what, let's do a couple of things and then I'll finish it off on stream. Nice indeed. I'll show you what we got. Let's play the game. Not sure if that music's still a bit too loud, but we can adjust that. So the trebuchet is animated. It moves its arm. Obviously it's not throwing the rock right now. So what I do need to do is we need to turn that background music down a little bit. So I'm 0.2 at the moment. So what we're going to have to do is move this object so it attaches to the trebuchet, and when you fire, it launches the rock from there and not from this spot here. So effectively it needs to launch from this space just above the trebuchet where the arm reaches. So it kind of needs to launch from there. But then also needs to launch with the velocity that the player determines and not the default velocity, which is hard coded into the game. And it might need to have like a sound effect for the trees being rustled. So it gives the player feedback of, you've hit a tree. And the music I've got is only at 1 minute 20 seconds, so I might need to find some better music or try and write my own. But I got this free music pack of fantasy music, so I can use it as it is. There's no payments I have to do in order to use it. I might have to credit the music provider in the game. Yeah, so see if I take the music down a little bit, probably about 0.1. 0.1 is probably a good background music. There's like a massive cut scene where it's sort of, there's an epic thing going on there, you want the music a bit louder, but It's just to stop it from being silent while you're smashing rocks into a building. As the smoke clears, the little hand waving animation. I need to change this level complete as well, because that level complete wording disappears. So I'm thinking like a banner at the top. So I might jump into Photoshop and make a quick banner that says level complete, and maybe even like a title of like Revolt Overthrow as like a little thing that sits at the top for the main menu. It could probably even be slightly quieter. So it needs to be in the background. So let's, rather than 0.2, let's make it 0.05. Because we don't need that to be so high. The priority, I'm not sure what about the priority. We can put the priority down maybe. Cause it's only going to be in the background. I don't know what the best priority should be. Don't fully know, but as far as I'm aware, a lower priority means it's going to be pushed aside compared to something that's higher priority. So the sound effects, personally, I think should be a higher priority, because you want to know you've hit the building. You want to know you're doing something. You don't want it to be pushed aside by the background music, because it's only in the background. It's only supposed to be there to fill the void. So we put it a slightly lower priority. We'll have the volume down to 0.05. It plays on wake. Let's give that a save. See how that goes. The main thing I want to do today is update the UI a little bit and move that rock to interact directly with the trebuchet. And ideally, I'd like to have the power input from the player, so the player determines how much power is applied. So even that sound effect might be a bit too high now. Yeah, I reckon we put the volume up a little bit higher. Let's go 0.1. Probably 0.07. Go halfway. That sounds about a good balance between the background and the foreground music. Obviously, in a full game, You'd want to be able to turn the music on and off anyway. And probably turn the sound effects on and off. So I should really make a UI for that. That's very easy to do. Cool. Let's stop that. Okay. So make that 0.07. Pitch is fine at the moment. Parity a bit lower. Could have a quick look at the UI. What's going to be the easiest thing to do first? Well, the UI is not really intrinsic to the gameplay. It obviously just helps polish it off. Ideally, really, I should try and move this rock object to be part of the trebuchet, really, or at least the trebuchet part of the rock. So I could move that into the rock. The only thing with that, no, it should work. It should work because it won't get hidden. It won't get hidden because it hasn't got rock underscore on it. Let's highlight all of these items. And put them about there. Now, out of interest, what happens just moving those things around? Ends up throwing, of course it does, it throws the whole trebuchet, that's it. Didn't really think that through. Let's launch the whole thing. Yeah, that's not really a desirable there. Yeah, I forgot the entire rock moves, so I can't have it as part of the rock. Yeah, so let's forget. Keep the trebuchet separate. It does need to be part of the camera though, I would say. Let's put it inside the camera pivot. Let's see how that looks. So now trebuchet is part of the camera. With the camera being a bit lower as well. Yeah, the trebuchet shouldn't be up that high. The camera pivots. Is it because the rotation? It should be 0. So that's 0. I probably want the camera to be a little bit further back so you can see the trebuchet, or the trebuchet to be a bit further forward. Evening, Hug, and all chat. I hope you had a great Christmas, good New Year. Hey, Max, good to see you, dude. How's it been? I saw you had a bit of a whoopsie. Hope you're feeling okay now. And sorry I haven't been able to get back to you all the past couple of weeks. If I've not been out doing stuff, I've been at home sleeping, trying to recover. It's been a hectic one, but it looks like you had a good New Year. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas as well. What you been up to? Not as keen on that flavour. Got a Sneak Hydrate cherry flavour. And Sneak Hydrate is whatever Sneak is, but without caffeine. So it's just caffeine not added. Still quite good, but seems to be lacking that one. Hey Dee there, how's it going? Happy Friday. Hope you've been having a good week, having a good day. Yeah, definitely. So as it is, the ball rotates and the trebuchet rotates around the ball, or the rock. You have to bring these two objects together. Managed to break and chip my elbow on New Year's Eve. Ooh, how did you manage that? Did you fall over or did you bang into something? Sounds very painful. Didn't do anything on New Year's Eve. Got drunk, built 2 computers. Sounds like a good 1st of January deal there. Building computers is one of my favourite things to do. Messing with computers generally. Yeah, haven't got drunk at all for like Christmas or New Year. Didn't actually do any drinking on... No, I think I had 1 drink on Christmas and 1 drink on New Year. Limoncello's buns. Ooh, I do like a limoncello. Right, let's see if we can adjust something. So, when this starts up, it applies a rotation. I don't know why it's applying a rotation. Let's have a look at the code. So, camera pivot has camera rotate attached to it. So let's have a look at that script. The one they had was really bitter, like spicy orange juice. Ooh. I know limoncello is generally quite a sharp flavour. Don't think I've had a really bitter one before. Camera rotate, camera angle. Unsweetened orange juice. I slipped on my stairs, hit my elbow on one of the steps. It wasn't until getting ready for bed I noticed a bruise. Oh, so you're actually home by the time you injured yourself. That's a very unfortunate thing to do. Angle camera. Targets. So it's looking at the object. Right, okay. So because the camera's up here, it's then looking at the object, which is down here. Let's see what happens when we do that. But also this is just kind of trial and error. What happens if we do this? What happens if we do that? Learn from it, change a few things, try something else. I don't even think we need... Do we even need to move the camera? I didn't even think the camera moved, because I suppose the ball always kind of stayed where it was. Well, I was at a party across from the flat, so I just popped home to pick up another bottle of ginger ale. That's when it happened. Oh. So you're still partying at that point. Was it a good party though? So as long as it was worth sort of knackering your elbow. Right, so targeting the rock. So if I disable that for the moment, angle camera. So we've even got like an if in there to stop it from going too far. Right, so let's just disable that bit of code for the moment. And see what happens when we just run it. Yeah, it's throwing me some red text because I've got code that does nothing, which I'm aware of because I disabled it. I was at Bella's place. She was out for my birthday. It was a great party with a bunch of great people. Nice. Yeah, I remember Bella. Seems very cool. Compile errors are. Can't play it until the compile errors are fixed. Okay. Doesn't like it. It doesn't like it. Okay, so let's do that. Disable the whole thing. Yeah, I saw the photos. A couple of photos you posted up. It was had like lights and disco and everything going on. So I don't want that rotation to change. So it's not this that's changing the rotation. Something else is changing the rotation. What is changing the rotation? So it is camera pivot, because that code there, camera rotate. That's camera angle. Ah. Where's camera? Is it not loaded? It's camera rotate. Let's find the script for camera rotate. There we go. This is the one that we need to look at. It's the offending. I don't think we even used the camera angle script. I don't think that's attached to anything. It might be. Let's have a quick look. Is that attached to the camera? It is. Okay. So the camera follows the reticle. But we're not using that, I don't think. And if we're not using it, I'll take it out eventually anyway. But yeah, the camera pivot is using camera rotate. So when it starts up, it looks at the point. What is the point? No one knows the point. So vector-free point. They were taken in her garage. She's turned it into a bit of a party den. Nice. Always like a bit of a party den. I've been to a few people's houses where they've had they had a garage turned into a party den of some capacity. Can be fun. My garage is just full of stuff, so can't we have a party den there? Very cool stuff though. So we've got target rock, rotation Y. So point, what is point? Point comes from rotational target, which is the rock. So we grab the rock, we then find out where the rock is, and then we look at the rock. So in theory, because the rock is above there, it should be looking up, but it's not. So if I just disable that for the moment. Go head off now, Hugs. Okie dokie, dudes. Good to see you. Hope your elbow's feeling better soon. Try not to injure yourself anymore. Try and save that at least towards the end of the year. But hope you have a good weekend, and I shall see you next time. And we'll chat soon. Okay. So, as it turns out, don't actually need that code then. We don't need to look at the rock because it's already looking at the rock. Rotate, rotate left, rotate right. I'm happy with all that code. This code doesn't even need to be used. I don't think it's even been referenced. Let's disable that completely and see if it screams at me because I've removed something at once. I don't think so. Okay, that code, I think I know why I put that code in there. Because if you have a tower that's above where you can see with the camera, so if you're looking at it and the tower's even higher, you want the camera to look up and fire at the tower. But if you can't see it, if it's off the screen. So I might have to reactivate that. And you want to see it collapsing again? Hey Jeffrey, how's it going, dude? It's good to see you. Hey, oh, hey! How's it going, Larry? It's good to see you, dude. Hope you've had a good New Year and Christmas type celebrations. What's up, Anne, Lisa as well? All the gangs here. Doing fine, man. How are you? I'm pretty good. Pretty good. It's been a good week. Had no work all week, so I've been pretty happy with that. Work starting again next week, though. I sell emotes. Awesome. So I haven't got that command working yet. I don't know how to trigger it off properly. We'll get there. But yeah, let's I'll show you what I've got so far. All those cool emotes there. So I can throw. So the rock resets to the wrong place. So I need to tell it to reset above the trebuchet still. Yeah, all the pig squeals. Pig goes bree. I popped into that DJ stream for a few minutes when I was cooking earlier. Seems like pretty good tunes. Yes, my friend Dayal. Yes, awesome. They seem pretty cool. Some banging tunes. Correct on first try. I'm learning. So I can remember a few Dutch vowel sounds. As you can see, I've got the trebuchet now animates. Still a little bit janky though. It bounced off the tree and back again. Oh, missed it. Let's find the last one. There it is. So yeah, that's the gameplay so far. Hey, hand wave, epic. That's awesome. Thank you. Now, I was saying a little bit earlier at the start of the stream, I've worked on a couple of things off stream. One being the background music, you might be able to hear. I've adjusted the pitch of when the blue uniform like the French, waving the French flag. I've changed the pitch of the rock hitting sound to randomly go up and down, so it's a slightly different pitch each time the rock hits. So that makes it sound a little bit nicer. We put the background music on. I got the animation for the trebuchet working. I just need to attach the rock to the trebuchet, not... At the moment they're working completely separately. Let's stop that. But the music that's playing is royalty-free music, so I can use that in the game. But I might find some other bits of music. So that rock, not specifically that rock, but that object of holding the rock. There's the rock starting position. So that should really be where it is now. Like whatever that is on start. So that's rock launch. Let's find rock launch. Is that open? I might have to open rock launch. Rock launch, there it is. So on the start, angle direction, right. I'm 100% nude, by the way. Larry and Lisa can confirm. Just putting it out there. Pics cost $1, vids cost more. Nice. I'm sure that's a real treat for those two. You'll be streaming on Joystick soon. Follow my joystick.tv. I've not gone them back on there since you first pointed me at it. Have you seen it? Yeah, you talked about it the first time you talked about it. I opened it. Oh yes, yeah, that's definitely as Jeffrey described it. Angle direction. Look at target. So angle direction. Look at target. Target is there. And what is target? Target is reticle. Okay, so the rock is pointed at the reticle on start. That is fine. It's where you want, wherever the reticle is, where the target thing is, you want the rock to fire at it. It is the starting V3 that we do want to manipulate though. So that's starting V3. So that's when it resets. So I think we need to, if we put that into code, then I don't have to manually add that in. Did the audio controller work with Blender like you wanted it? I found a couple of programs that that suggested that it would work, but I couldn't get them working. I need to spend a bit more time. It's basically a lot of people saying, well, you take the audio controller and you basically turn it into a keyboard, and then you assign keys to each of the sliders and whatnot. Let's knock the microphone. But it's a pretty cool controller. I'll plug it in right now. You can see all the pretty colours. Oh, it's cold. Been sat on the floor. If I plug this in and see it do its thing. Got the USB in there. It's probably a bit hard to see the colours, but all the dials, LEDs light up. But it's pretty decent though. But I've not used Ableton for so long. It's no longer set up. That's epic. It is indeed, isn't it? But it's just a USB. bit dusty as well. It needs to be a bit of a clean. But the you can program all of these to be different things, but there's like a profile that Ableton will automatically map all of these things for you. But I just want to change it so, yeah, this pan, all these different pans across here, rather than panning audio, actually adjusts things in Blender. Same as the sliders, you can sort of, because all that is like 0 and 1, and you just say, well, actually that's 0 and that's 150, and I want, when I slide that, to change a number on something. So just working that out. Do I need to send a new crack? Maybe. I have to try and install it again, because it installed and it worked, and then it came back saying that it's still not been cracked, or it's still not been licensed, but it was licensed. The crack did license it, and then it said, then it reverted back to being unlicensed. So, okay, I'll look at it another day. Weird. Yeah, like it was fine. I installed it, applied the crack, followed the instruction, was fine, and then just didn't like it for some reason. How's that broken now? Mine is legal. Don't use Fruit Loop myself since I use Logic. Yeah, if you've got a Mac, you gotta use Logic. Could need to add firewall rule not to let it send. Yeah, I can't remember if I did that either. Can't remember. I might have done, but it might have not blocked everything that it needs, and it still got through and went, nope, that's not legit. Which is annoying, because I'm not buying or paying for an expensive license to a piece of software I'm going to use very occasionally and not make money from. And I know you're supposed to, but we'll switch over here. Which is why I'm using things like Unity, because it's completely free until you're earning big money. And then you have to pay a percentage license fee, which is perfectly fine. I'm making money, they get a cut. As opposed to buy this really expensive piece of software and then you have to try and earn that money back. So I like Unity's model. It's completely free to use, but once you've hit a certain earning on it, then you have to pay. As a child, when I was 4, when people asked me what I wanted to be, I always said pirate, and I wore my Captain Hook outfit. In a way, I did become a pirate. Nice. Yeah, pirates are fun anyway. I always like playing as a pirate. And I have acted as a pirate many times. But nothing I'm using today has a pirate on it. Internet pirate, that is, yes. Best form of pirate. You don't want to be a Disney pirate. What I want to do, I want to set as a private void set default starting, set starting v3. Drawing in the meantime. Ooh, you've been doing some more comic stuff? You know, I think the battery in this keyboard is pretty shot now. Like, I get about a day's worth of battery in this keyboard now. Whereas before I got used to get about a week. Which is annoying because it's far easier to use it when it hasn't got a cable plugged into it. But I might have to have a look at the battery cells, see if they're replaceable. Actually, no comment today. Doing album cover for a new project you picked the band name for. Finished the text logo today. I'll send it. Awesome. Rave Warehouse because music. Yeah. My Discord isn't that strict on where things go. It's just kind of saves it all going in the same room. As long as it's somewhere generally relevant. Oh, I like that. I like the fade. That's really cool. Now, if I didn't know what it said, I would struggle to read it. Nice one. This is the rig. Is it the rig? Is it the target? It's not. It's the rig. I think it's the rig. Rig. Rig is the rock. Yes. Oh, that's just colour. Just colour for now. Not the real logo. I'll change the colour. Every time I use. Ah, gotcha. Regular is below. Let's have a quickie look. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I definitely like the red fade on that. But yeah, as a straight black, you can really see the design. I love how you've managed to get it sort of really symmetrical, but still kind of the lettering still in there. It's very clever. Like I could never design something like that. I can barely read it there though. Design. Blood Heretic. You picked the name. Thank you. Yeah, I liked. I suppose blood. The word blood is very symmetrical anyway. It's just that you got an extra letter after the B. That kind of throws it off a little bit. And Heretic has got a little bit of sort of symmetry in the fact that you got an E either side of the R, and you got two tall characters towards the end. So I can see that helps a bit. The genre doesn't like readable logos. Logos as readable as the vocals are understandable. Yeah. If you can't understand the vocals, there's no way you're understanding the logo. Pig. Rig dot game object dot transform dot position. So that should set the V3 of that rock. Album cover I'm drawing is a demonic girl in a church holding a candle. Ooh. I like the sound of that. Only having the outline so far. There you got to start with that. Starting with the outline and then obviously progressing. Oh, that's so annoying that the battery on this keyboard's not good anymore. It's a nice keyboard. It was a cheap keyboard, but it was very nice for the quality. But I can see where the cheapness is. It's the fact that the battery dies so quickly now. But then it's designed to work plugged in. So it shouldn't overcharge in theory. It shouldn't be overcharging. but clearly it seems to have suffered with two. There we go. I got a loose connection on my microphone. That's probably something I need to replace as well. Again, microphone's great, but the connection probably needs mending. I got everything that's been going bad recently. Not sure what point it cut off. But yeah, I was saying my headset, my mouse, and my Pro controller are all Razer. But $10 for a Razer keyboard is pretty decent, even if it's two LEDs working funny, a key missing. Right before he says the Razer keyboard message, I sent them. Okay. Yeah, saying I got a few Razer products. I might get a Razer keyboard next. I was speaking to my brother actually earlier, and he's saying he might get a Razer keyboard because he's got a Corsair keyboard and he's accidentally spilt a bit of coffee on it. And he's found they're not as easy to replace the mechanical switches as he originally thought. He thought you could pop the switch out, put a new switch in, and you just carry on. But you have to desolder them, which is quite annoying. It's not impossible, but he thought you could pop them in and out as you can buy the switches to do so. So he's looking at Razer keyboards now. This thing works great, awesome. Yeah, I shall look at a Razer keyboard, but this one's quite cool. It's a Klim, K-L-I-M. It's not a brand I've heard of before, but they're quite cheap, considering that's a full mechanical keyboard. It's Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, and all the keys are removable. It's just a shame that the battery doesn't last very long anymore. Got the Polish flag RGB configuration. Nice. Yeah, I think the British flag was a bit too complex to try and get onto a keyboard. So I've just gone with cyan to match the logo. But that's a good thing with this keyboard, you can actually change the RGB configuration. So well, if I want certain keys, certain colours. There's even a setting where I can get it to like rainbow. So it kind of wipes the rainbow across the keys, which is pretty cool. But I've just got all keys set to cyan at the moment because it's a nice colour. Right, save the rock launch. So in theory, it's now going to fire the rock from this position every time now. My numpad is flashing inverted cross. Nice. Going from red to white. I like it. Okay, so we're making progress. So the rock is now being thrown from this position. So I might need to move the camera higher up. And probably to add a bit of difficulty to the game, I might end up removing this target, this hiding it so the player can't see it. Because if the camera's pointing at where the rock is going to go, then you don't necessarily need to see a target. And if the height of the target is determined on how much power you apply, you then have to work out what is the right amount of power to hit a certain height. At the moment I'm manually moving the target, but if you set the target in the centre and move left and right, the target is always centre of the screen. So it'd be like shooting in a first person game. You know you're shooting dead centre of the game anyway, but the target helps you line things up. Anything being, as it currently stands, it's blocking some of the view. Oops, over there. Oh, a bit higher. Might be above that window. What was the window that gets me? Because I can't see whether it's been hit or not. There we go. Right, so we know it's working in that sense. So now I need to move the rock to the finishing position of the trebuchet. So that will then be above it a little bit more. So this could be up here somewhere. But we also want the camera to be a bit further back so we can see the whole trebuchet and it not actually impede the view of the castle. But we don't want it too far away, otherwise you can't actually see the castle. It's just too far away. It's probably about there. And the rock needs to be a bit higher up. Let's save that. See how that looks. I'm hoping by the end of the stream I can then oh, that's roughly in the right place. Yeah, so I've got to change the timing so the rock doesn't fire until the end of this animation. So animation, then rock fires. And then I suppose, ideally again, you'd see the chosen projectile actually sitting on the bucket as it comes over. It's something slightly amusing about a panda being thrusted at high speed towards a building and leaving it cracked. Look at that, it's quite a sizable pumpkin that, isn't it? It's about a metre tall. Okay. So we know that rock is in about the right place. So it's our timings now. It's definitely possible. True. You know, you can definitely get some really large pumpkins. Pumpkins to be that big, yeah. Yeah, it's not to say pumpkins can't be that big, but it's a sizable pumpkin. But then, if this entire scenario is made up anyway, so you can have anything you like. If the size of the pumpkin is what's getting you in this entirely made up fantasy world, then you're really missing the bigger picture. Right, so I need to have a look. So you got rock script, rock rigid, so rock launch, there's rock launch. So it's this code here, rock launch rock. So we don't want it to launch rock until the trebuchet has finished running its launch rock. So I almost need it to come back with a value, I suppose. That once it receives the value, then it carries on. So let's go to trebuchet controller. So launch rock fire. Yeah, because it's doing it all there. So it's launching a rock here that ends up launching this rock. Maybe it should be the other way around. So this is control. The whole controlling of the rock is done through this. So maybe it doesn't actually launch the rock until I need to have something checking that the trebuchet is completed. So it almost needs to loop until done. So let's do another function in the trebuchet controller. So I suppose it's fire false, because launch rock will set it to true. So we want to know that fire is false. Let's do a public function here. So public, what's it going to be? A boolean. Public boolean. Launch complete, and then return false now. So it's going to have to do two things. Need to check whether fire was true but is now false. So fire. I guess it could just be a question of not fire. So it just returns the opposite of fire, so that's not fire. So go to that. While dot launch complete, it stays there, and then when it's unless we make it rather than going backwards around this, launch change the name so it's launch. The launch is happening. What's a good name for it? So launch in progress. Launch in progress. So that just returns true if the launch is in progress. So if launch in progress, so while launch in progress, it does nothing and then carries on. Hopefully this doesn't kill the game, so let's save this here. That's the only problem putting loops in, that you're reliant on a certain situation. You can't guarantee that situation. The game could crash and you can't get out of it and you have to quit Unity. Yeah, there we go. Whole of Unity stuck. So probably going to have to let's kill Unity. Because we broke the game. And let's reload it again. And that is why I saved. Takes a moment for Unity to come back up. So that's probably not the best way to do it then. So I could put a time delay in. So after I set time, it then launches the rock. But I can't guarantee that it'll complete faster or slower, and therefore it will be off. So maybe this needs a switch back over. Maybe it needs a fixed update. There we go. Maybe it can check on fixed update. So if thrown is false, then launch from the trebuchet. Then it needs to check the trebuchet and then send it. So let's do another private void send rock, pretty much the same. Do that as an if. So if not, launch in progress. And this is where it gets tricky, because you need to make sure it is actually sending the rock. So probably going to need a private boolean again. So launched is equal true. Take it out of there. So then launched is equal to false, because that's now completed. So if not, launch in progress, and launched, then send the rock. See if this works. Let's give it a save again, just in case it crashes. That seems to work. Almost looks like the rock is floating there and the trebuchet is just smacking it. Which I suppose in this context is what's happening. So next thing to do then. Going to give Ozzy his food by be right back. Okay. Calf's accident, of course. Louder! Ozzy needs his food. Okay, I'll see you shortly. Be right back, okie dokie. Right, so next stage then is we don't want to see that rock until it launches. So that rock needs to be inactive. Needs to be inactive until it's set to go. So if we then go rig dot game object dot set active is true. And reset the rock location. So rotate direction, angle direction. So sets it back. This could be rig dot game object dot set active equals false. Now this could have unintended consequences. It might not like me doing stuff to something that's not active, I don't know. Or it might be perfectly fine. But it's not going to be inactive to start with, which is fine. We'll see the rock. Ah. We don't have a rock. Okay. So we're resetting the rock. Let's do it after the trebuchet. Set to false. So set active true. Let's try it that way around. Don't think it's make much of a difference. because the rock isn't active. So it's working when the game object is set to false. That's not a problem, that bit works. But once it's set to false, it's not able to do much else then. So it's got to be something else we got to do then. Is it just hiding that particular rock then? So rather than actually setting it true or false, so it's not setting that active. That's the problem. We don't want to be setting that active. We want to keep the rock active. It's the actual, the mesh that is currently visible we want to set as invisible. Because in theory, because yeah, the collider is on the rock, not on that. So if I hide the rock completely, like the visible part of the rock, it should still hit. Yes, okay. So we're throwing an invisible force right now. Okay. So whatever we selected, so in this case it's rock stone, but how do we determine what is selected? It is going to be so all this doesn't actually care what is selected. This is where we're selecting it though, isn't it? Right, okay. It would be worth storing this. Have we got the... selected rock? So let's select rock. Maybe we make another one that is determining which rock is currently selected. So object, game object name. So we could do is storing it here, taking this game object and storing it as the currently selected rock. So go private game object current rock. So if that's setting all for false is true. So current rock is equal to t.game object. So that sets the current rock there. So that means dot set active true and dot set active false. So this will just hide the visible part of whatever representation we've used, the skin if you will, for the rock. But we could do with determining which rock is active. I suppose by default yeah, we want to be able to pull it out through code, so let's go private void get current rock. So it's a for each, I suppose. Drop that in there. We are going to need the transform. Object name. Pop that in there for the moment. Don't need to know the selected rock, that's what we're finding out. So let's go boolean is active. So is active equals t.game object dot active in hierarchy defines whether the game object is active in the scene. So active in hierarchy. I'm not worrying about selecting a rock at this point. Let's tidy it up a little bit. Okay, so if is active, then set the current rock, then exit. Oh no. Can we exit 4? Or is it exit space? We don't need to go through everything in the hierarchy, but so get current rock can go into the startup. Now it does pose a problem because you need to be able to. I need to be able to store that somewhere else ideally, not have it stored as the selected active rock. So it needs to be stored somewhere else to say, well, this is the object we're using. This is what we want to set active. I suppose I'm storing it here in some ways. Right, we'll save that. We can work through it stage by stage. Back, welcome back. Saw you react to maybe cancel for Monday. Yes. However you're feeling, sort of. I will continue Stardew no matter what, but maybe not live myself. That's fair. Whatever you're feeling up to. Okay, let's change that to the panda. Now, I think the next thing I need to do here really is to get the trebuchet to come back so you can actually have the pleasure of the object hitting the building without the trebuchet in the way. At the moment you can't really see the panda flying across. And of course when you select a new object it appears in front of you. Maybe change the way you look at the trebuchet a bit over the shoulder. Yeah. Maybe off to the side. Let's see if that works. Let's get the camera. Where is it? It is the camera pivot. Camera. I can move the camera off to the side slightly. It will throw the aiming off, that's the only problem, but maybe the player can adjust to that. Let's see how that looks. Suppose it's still roughly centre of the screen, but it's obviously off to the side now because that's probably not helping the keyboard. Yeah, because the camera's off to the side, the aiming is slightly adjusted. Now let's make the reticle target completely invisible. Now will this upset it? Let's save this. So this is stage. I think if we remove the reticle, obviously you can't see how high or how low I am, but I want to adjust that with a power meter instead. But the game's still playable without the reticle. I still would like the trebuchet to kind of slowly come back down again. As if it's kind of readying itself for the next fire. So at the moment it just goes bump and disappears. Hey. It's not impossible to play the game without the reticle, so I'll hide that for now. Maybe I need to add something in that allows the player to determine where the trebuchet is pointing. I don't mind so much the height, because you have to guess the height, but at least if it's pointing in a certain direction, that's where you're pointing the trebuchet. Even if it's like a dotted line to say, well, that's where you're going. But I like that. That's working so far. But you could do, if we add in a so where we got create 3D object cube. Call this target line. Here's the cube. Let's put that inside of the trebuchet. Once the game is done, how do you get the game as a Twitch category on Twitch? Good question. I've never looked into that. Never looked into that. It would be something that I want. It would be nice to do if people want to stream it. So obviously, at the moment, this isn't really streamable. Let's like give it a challenge, maybe a timer. How fast can you complete the level? Or like, it needs to have challenges in there, I think, like to make it worth watching. Because it hasn't really got a story, and it's not idle enough to. Unless people kind of want to stream it as a just chatting kind of thing. I will stream it the moment I can. Oh, thank you, dude. Yeah, I'll have a look into how I get it on Twitch. Because I'm going to be making another game that I would be really cool if people streamed it. So, if that is going to be the case, that people will stream a game, I need to be able to get it on Twitch. There's that birthday centre. Just come back, transform. Let's go to materials. See how that looks as an approximate replacement for the targeting system. Obviously I can change the way it looks, but that's going to give you a better idea of roughly where it's going to go. Maybe have it as a dotted line as opposed to a solid line like that. So a moment ago, what's that long line coming out of the trebuchet for? Let's move that forward a bit more. So I could have it as a series of small boxes as 3D dots. Or I could have it as a texture, just say a flat texture that has a transparency, so it's like a dotted line. Try something like that. But now now I've got this kind of thing down, I want to animate the trebuchet resetting as opposed to just state changing. So that certainly helps with the targeting element. So let's get the trebuchet to reset. And we can have a look at... A lot of these things can be changed and improved in the future. It's just kind of finding the best best options, really. So by default, I suppose the could probably do setting the default rather than finding it. Launch rock trebuchet launch. So I suppose at this point, when you go launch rock, you want to hide the rock before then sending it. So it'll be there temporarily, and then it will be launched. Where is the trebuchet? So we have got an animator here effectively. So if it's set to fire and the animator position is less than 1, IA is back. IA is back. Welcome back. This time caps on purpose. Need to announce your arrival. Need a fanfare. So this whole little thing here is for firing the trebuchet. We could do with another boolean there. So private boolean reset equals false to start with, of course. Donya helped again with the skincare. Awesome. She is good doggo. So if reset and animation position is greater than 0, we want it to then minus the animation rate from the position and then update the position. Else reset is false. See if that works. She now has my hairbrush. Ah, there's now Donya's hairbrush. You no longer have a hairbrush. Random thoughts since I forget, but since what year have you and Nick's been together? Beginning of 2020, our anniversary, our official anniversary. It's bad I have to look it up. It is not tomorrow, but next Saturday. Will be 5 years officially. We had our first date 5 years ago on the 28th of December. Yeah, I think it was the 28th of December 2019. We went on our first date and then officially got together sort of 2020 January. Peak COVID times, yes. So the 1 month before COVID, or was COVID earlier than you? Yeah, it was. It depends when you set the date. I always see COVID as starting when our government locked everything, which was in April. So our government locked everything in April 2020. So I consider that to be, well, at least when the UK acted on COVID. It was around before then. COVID was happening in 2019, but beginning of March. Yeah, other countries responded quicker. The UK went, oh, yes, lockdown. Yes. Lock everything, stay in your homes. I was already in lockdown then because I had a cold. Ooh. But yeah, Nix and I were together officially for January, February, March. So 3 months. And then April happened and then we couldn't see each other until like September, October, when they opened up a little bit. I think it was the end of August, beginning of September. It was still warm. We met outside, but like kept distance so we could like see each other and have a drink, but not physically touch, which was quite hard because you just want to give a person a hug and you can't. I only had COVID once. That was this summer. Oh wow! But yeah, rough time to have a starting relationship. I really like to see it as it was a tough test that we passed. Like, how many relationships can be instantly thrown into that situation and still be going 5 years later? So we like to see it as okay. That was a major test right at the beginning. I was just about to type. Yeah. Yeah, it was a major test. We passed. But I think in some ways it worked out better because it's like all you can do is talk or play video games, or like you have to interact with a person without them physically being there with you. So you kind of like build a better connection, and then when you eventually can see each other, then you can start enjoying sort of time in the same space again. So yeah, it worked out quite well in the end, but it was hard. It was very hard because you got all that kind of energy and sort of happiness that you just want to go and see that person, but you can't. And you think, well, is it going to last? Is this going to burn out? Am I going to go, can't be bothered? All that energy's gone now, but it never has. Even all this time. Donnie wants to steal our cookies. Not the cookies. The hairbrush is one thing, but not the cookies. Yeah, my brother had We look after my brother's dog every Friday. So he's been here today. And my mother left the dining table to greet my brother when he arrived to collect the dog. And she left her plate, a dinner plate, on the table. And the dog jumps onto the chair, ready to grab the plate, and my sister-in-law grabs the dog just before he gets to the plate. Donia now wants chocolate cookies. They can't have chocolate or cookies, neither are good for doggies. But it's just quite funny just seeing her leap at the dog and just arms around him and nope, get away. You cannot steal that food. He's only small. He's like, when he sat down, he's like this. He's not a very big dog. He's usually a good dog, but he likes to test and try things, as all dogs do. Launch rock, launch in progress. Make it public for now, because we might be able to reset it. Or I could put it in. There's reset position. So reset position could be actually changed to just setting reset to true. And then this will naturally do it. So let's hide those ones and go reset is true. That will then set it back to where it was. Let's give this a go. We're looking at 5 minutes past 10. You didn't raid my friend Shadow Wolf last stream like you said. I did. I did raid us. Chatted to him for about 15 minutes. Didn't raid him properly though, as in like I didn't announce it. Make up for it today, yeah. I'll do it again. Yeah, Shadow Wolf's pretty cool. Yeah, I should have mentioned that I was going to raid him, and then did it, but I just kind of like went to end stream and then clicked raid. But it said 2 people came raiding with me. I thought, yeah, no one's going to realise I'm raiding. Damn. Oh, we've lost the rock. Where's the rock on? Well, that's broken. Let's try again. Yeah, I was looking at the game that Shadow Wolf was playing on Wednesday. It's Biomutant. Seems pretty cool. But reading at it, it's an abandoned game, which is a shame. Apparently the devs released it and then just walked out the studio, from what people are saying. Ah, okay, so there's definitely a bug there then. If I hit the spacebar to fire before it's reset, it crashes. So I need to so reset position probably needs to happen at this point, doesn't it? So once its fire is false, once it gets there, fire. So if fire and position is less than 1, change position, now set to false. So we could do a if into here. So if fire, then reset is true. And that sets reset to true before that goes to false. And that goes at that. So this bit doesn't need to be done then, if we then hide that. See if this helps. So something's happening here. Where the rock is not resetting. It disappears but doesn't reset. Who is your favourite rapper, by the way, or hip-hop group? Ooh. I'd say growing up at the very least was Dr. Dre. And then Eminem. And I suppose that it was Dr. Dre and Eminem after a while. Then kind of sort of stopped listening to Eminem, and then Dr. Dre didn't do too much, so didn't end up listening to either of them for a while. But yeah, I got quite into Eminem, so I liked when he, just after he did all his Slim Shady kind of stuff. Because it's quite quirky for Slim Shady, but then went a bit more real with it again. Right, so where is the rock? Where is that right now? Yes. So the rock is there. But do you like it close to how you like the Prodigy Slipknot? No. No, like if you gave me an option for free, well, Dr. Dre would be cool to see. But only like just because it'd be cool to see Dr. Dre after all this time. But yeah, Slipknot I would see. I've seen Slipknot so many times now. I've seen the Prodigy so many times now. Never seen Eminem, never seen Dr. Dre live. Can you give me a top 5 artists? Oh, top 5, definitely Prodigy at the top. Is there anything above Slipknot? Prodigy, of course, yes. Yeah, I'll say second would be Slipknot. Who would come after that? Just thinking, well, I've got a lot of yeah, I have to have a think. Who would if I knocked Prodigy and Slipknot out of the race, who would be my top? So I'll go for like a certain amount of time just listening to one artist, but then I'll switch and then start listening to another artist. Before 50 Cent, yeah. Ooh, excuse me. No clue. No, I couldn't honestly jump at you. Go, yep, these artists right here. Just thinking who would be my other genres that I like listening to. Like, I wouldn't even put Eminem or Dr. Dre in my top 5. I don't think. Yeah, I'd have to have a look at what springs out at me. But generally, I love a lot of music. Hence being a DJ and all, kind of like I don't kind of stick to one thing for a while. So yours are Maiden, Slayer, King Diamond, Kiss, Wu-Tang. Nice. So Iron Maiden are probably in my top 10, I would say. I'm not sure if they'd make it into my top 5. But I've seen Maiden live once in their own gig. And then I've seen them a few times at festivals. Live I didn't want to see. Maybe a Time Machine, yeah. No fucking rain, how now I've seen footage, they didn't age well. Yeah, there's quite a few bands that, yeah, should have seen them, or could have, wished I could have seen them. Even though they're still touring, it's not worth it. I quite like Electric Callboy, but I'm not sure if they would meet my top 5. I've listened to a lot of their stuff though. They might be in the top 5. Maiden 13 times, Slayer 4 times, King Diamond first time next summer. Ooh, exciting. Ooh, excuse me. Kiss once, yeah, they're also cool. They still Eskimo Cowboy for me. I'm bad with name changes. That's fair. Yeah, I knew him as Eskimo Cowboy for ages, and then I didn't realise they changed their name. I went, oh, they got more music out, and they changed the name. X is Twitter, Apple Music's iTunes. Yeah, it's gonna be. I'm slowly getting there with X. It doesn't sound right, like naming an entire thing after one letter. It just seems stupid. Like, you can't brand the letter X. The whole thing with Twitter was it was a bird, so a bird's Twitter. They tweet. They sort of there's things you can brand around that. X isn't brandable. Apple Music I can understand because Apple went with the whole kind of Musk is insane. Yeah, he really is. Like, I know Apple went something as part of their whole branding. But yeah, it's rebranding to Apple Music gives it a more kind of modern, all-encompassing sounding brand. So you know the brand, it's Apple, and there's music, so that works. But X doesn't. It's Apple Watch, yeah. Yeah, because it was the iWatch. It would be the iPhone, the iWatch, iPod. But yeah, Apple Watch. Because a Samsung watch is a Samsung watch. They don't have a weird name for it. So that makes sense. And it's more Apple. They're pushing the name Apple out there. Go, well, it is an Apple. I suppose the same. Like, people know what the iMac is. They know what the iPad is. But then the laptops and MacBooks, but it'd be an Apple MacBook rather than an iBook, which is probably they might have even been called iBooks at some stage. But I know the whole i name was because of internet. They wanted to be the modern thing at the time, so the internet was just a new thing coming out, and they go, well, let's call our things i thing. So it's an internet connected thing. It's all kind of new and modern. But now the internet's a done thing. It's to a certain extent, sort of the internet is less useful than it was at the time. iCarly, yeah. It was the cool thing, wasn't it? There's a YouTuber I haven't watched for ages, but I still follow her, called iJustine. And she does a lot of Apple reviews and stuff. But yeah, she's massive Apple nerd, follows everything they do. But yeah, it's the whole kind of that I prefix. And I remember iCarly being very much kind of sci-fi techie thing to go in with the modern age at the time. So why isn't this launching? I got something stuck somewhere, haven't I? Must be a Boolean. So fire an animation. If not, so fire false. So fire's false. Fine. Reset is true. So we could do with exposing these two. How do we expose them? Can't remember how we do it. Let's have a quick look. Serialized field, that's the one. So that is under Trebuchet controllers. That's under Trebuchet. That's the one. So fire and reset. Let's just have a quick look, see if they so you can see, oh, didn't minimize the window. There you go. So you can see the tick boxes on the side here doing what they're supposed to. So the fire tick box is saying, yep, it's firing, and then it resets, and then it resets complete. Can I get it to crash again? Aha! So it sticks when both fire and reset are both true. That's interesting. There are more all-time faves than that top 5 I made though. It's a hard list, yeah. Like, it's hard to pick out, when you love music so much, it's hard to just pick out 5 bands that are above everything. My dislike list is short, so that's good. Okay, so let's look for the logic here. So if it's set to fire and the animation position is less than 1, then add to it. But if it's set to fire and it's not less than 1, which means it must have reached 1, which means the arm is fully up, we then check. Alright, it's either fully up or it's not set to fire anymore. So either it's not firing or it's up. So in which case we want to check if it is still firing, in which case then trigger off the reset, and either way set it to false. So if that position equals 1, then set that false anyway. If they're both false, then doesn't matter if we set it false, but if that is true, set that to true. So there shouldn't be any way of setting that true without that being false. Because if that loops around, any game that's big and everyone loves but you can't get into. Ooh. Probably There's a lot of first-person shooters I just can't get into. Maybe because I haven't got the time to put into them. Fortnite, definitely one of those. I played it a couple of times, really can't get into it. PUBG, I still try to get into PUBG. Any of the kind of high-paced FPS games like Medal of Honor or Call of Duty, or those kind of small arena type shooting games. I'm not too bad with Star Wars Battlefront because that's a bit more open. I can get into that because it's a big area and it's a battle as opposed to turning a corner and shooting someone, sort of hiding behind a crate. Battlefront is awesome. Yeah, I like Battlefront. I like the original Battlefront, and I don't mind the EA version as well. That's not bad. I can play games like Gears of War. I like playing Gears of War, but that's not so fast paced. That's like your character runs like this, so it's very. The character feels very heavy, and it's still an open area. You like Doom, yes. Again, Doom's not too tight. Like, you're still shooting at things, but the big demons aren't hiding, waiting to shoot you. They're out in the open, they're there. And I like those kind of games where you can see the enemy and you just want to gun them down. Anything where it's a bit hidden, I'd struggle with. Like Overwatch, I'm fine with Overwatch because the characters are kind of noticeable. It's still a little bit, still a little bit of a problem when you got people camping and all that. So I did enjoy Overwatch because again, it's a team-based stuff. It's not you running around trying to find people and getting shot from someone hiding somewhere. So Overwatch only has like one sniper, and everyone else you have to be within a certain distance that you can see the player, or they run out at you and you just didn't see them in time. But there's an opportunity to see the players. I'm not quick enough to pick up on fast-paced things otherwise. But yeah, I can't get into because I know Fortnite isn't first person. Neither is well, no, I suppose Overwatch is first person. But yeah, I really enjoy Doom. I really enjoy Gears of War, Duke Nukem, Serious Sam. Have you ever come across Serious Sam? That's a fun game. So I like first-person shooters. I think it's a competitive, fast-paced, competitive first-person shooters I can't get into. Or like war-based first-person shooters. Halo, really enjoy Halo. Because again, Halo's big, it's open, so if you got the things you're shooting are apparent, so you can see them. It's you that's doing the hiding, and even competitive Halo, I'm not too bad with. Because again, it's a bit slower pace. Played Resistance. I don't think I have. No. Because Halo multiplayer is very much like Doom generally. Has 3 games on PlayStation 3 and some spin-offs PSP and PS Vita. Oh, okay. I know of the game. If Sony's answer to Halo, it's like a Halo clone. Ah, I shall see if it's available to play. Because I don't have a PlayStation 3. Yeah, my brother's got a PlayStation 3. But I do have a PSP emulator and a PS Vita emulator. Streamed it. Oh, nice. Old favourites. That's cool. Only played the PS3 games, that's fair. If fire, then reset must equal false. If reset, then fire must equal false. So they can't, that's basically saying neither one can be at the same time. They're either ors. Let's see if we can break it again now. What's the time? Ooh. See what I can do today with this. Let's really bash the space bar, see if I can get to crash. Yeah, I really used to enjoy playing the Halo games when I was when I first got my PlayStation, not PlayStation, my Xbox 360. I was playing Halo 3 constantly. I was playing online. I was sort of playing the campaign through, trying to get all the skulls. It was a lot of fun. But I got as far as playing Halo 4 and tried to play it on a too hard a difficulty because I've been playing all the other Halos. Well, I'll try it on harder, and I found it too difficult, and rather than just lowering the difficulty, I just stopped playing it. 2 is best. Yeah, I played 1 and 2 after 3 because I never owned the original Xbox. So I played 3 first, and then when I got the Master Chief Edition for the Xbox One, I then played 1 and 2. Played it on PC, nice. I own it on PC now because I got the Master Chief Edition collection on Steam. I also own it for Xbox One, so I should really go through and play them again. Right, I'm pretty confident you can't break the game on that mechanic now. Right, what should we do? So I'd still like to get a demo out, even if it's not finished. Probably the power meter. Let's determine the power. So let's go to here. So rock launch. Demo out today. Trying to get a demo out today. So whatever state is it in, I'll get a demo out to see what people think. But at the moment, it's not quite playable because I've hidden the target. Windows only, yeah. I said I would have to send the project to a Mac to have it compiled on Mac, because Apple holds very closely the coding needed to make it work on a Mac. So it has to be run on a Mac to then make it Mac compatible, to then distribute it as Mac. But I can do it for Linux. I can do it as Windows and Linux. But I know a few people, you included, that own Macs. So I have options for getting stuff compiled on Macs. I can play a demo tomorrow. Yeah. So I would like to get this mechanic in, so you can at least test the mechanic and tell me if it's working for you. So mass is rock mass. Add force, forward force. So forward force. Windows, my Windows is already turned off. Okay. Forward force. Forward force is the first item on the rock launch. Forward force is 25. So this 25 up here is what I want the player to determine. So I want the player to say it's not 25, it's 15 or it's 30. So that is ideally. Well, I either change that, or I change the angle via a. So the force is the same, but the angle is determined by a power. Yeah, I could try that. So rather than the up and down arrow keys, well, the W and S having an effect, might have a power that's applied. So I could have something. I need a visual representation of the power meter. I thought of a quick hack I can do at least for it. Let's have a UI. Let's get a UI element in this. Probably on the side here. Something down here that will. UI controls, square holder, canvas. That's the one we want. Let's make a new canvas object. What's it going to be? I suppose I could probably make something. Like the whole UI needs changing anyway. Like I don't want it to be just white buttons. I'll design something that's on theme. Because all these buttons here will probably disappear. And this menu will be in front of everything. Like you want to be able to change stuff on the menu as opposed to just being there. But that's something I can change later. So you've got input field, canvas, event system, panel. Could be a panel. Image. So it would be an image eventually, I'd say. But I could do it as a panel. Power meter. That's a pretty big panel. Let's shrink that down a bit. Probably about there. Something along those lines. And position. Let's go back to here and position. Over this side. Something like that. Now we need something that kind of moves up and down the power meter. Maybe doing like another panel. Let's kind of round these off. Cool, this makes it nice round numbers. Minus 55. Cool. Did you win the All I Want for Christmas challenge, by the way? I don't know. Probably not. I did manage to avoid oh no, this year, nice. Yeah, I think it ended up being on like a meme or something, like a little funny video. But I managed to avoid Wham's Last Christmas this year, which I'm pretty happy about. Let's make another object. UI toggle slider. Oh, one of his slider would be more appropriate. I don't think a slider would be more appropriate, to be honest. Can't really customize it, I don't think. We can try. No, you would be able to get a value into it, so min value, max value. So minus 470. Can you put the width up? That's the height effectively now, isn't it? Oh yeah, we can do that. Looks a little bit weird, but if it works. Fill rect, transform, handle rect, transform. Ah, so background. Fill area. Ah, okay, maybe this could work. Might have a purpose for it. Now what we want is reticle target. There we go. It's 10. Okay, so let's change the slider to have a max value of 10. And we want to affect the slider when we're applying power. So for now I can probably use the W and S to kind of apply the power up and down, but then we'd probably just want to be able to hold a key to set the power. Then you might want to reduce the power, I suppose. So what's that called? Let's rename that to power slider. On value change. So we want to be able to change the value itself from the code, not from the. Although, if it works works in backwards, because on change. So we'll write some code that works backwards, and we can try and work the code into it. So what's it going to be? It says is it UI controls. No, it's not that. It is. Select on the up and down button, so angle up. That is using rock launch angle up and reticle move up. So rock launch angle up, rock launch angle up, angle direction transform. So that's only really looking at the direction. So direction is, what is direction? Direction is a game object. I'm guessing then this camera pivot. The camera pivot is the direction. Just look at camera pivot. So camera pivot is camera rotate. I've definitely made this quite messy. So just looking at the camera pivot. Whereas it's pointing in the same direction as the camera pivot. That's rotate direction, of course. Oh. Angle direction. Look at target. Look at target. So target. Target is reticle, of course it is. In theory, these two should be swapped around then, because I'm looking at the target and then I'm moving the target. So I should be moving the target and looking at the target. So those buttons are the wrong way around, but we're changing it anyway. So it's moving the reticle up. So reticle.move up. Where's all the reticle? That's basically what we want to do here then. Where's reticle? Scripts, reticle. Move up is, what's that doing? Movement is Y, so it moves it by that much. So move up sets a new position. The transform position by movement. Okay, so effectively, what I wanted to do then is to just set this Y position here to equal the slider bar on the side. So should we reticle move up, move down? So we make another one. Public void set pos y and we'll have a float y. We'll copy this. Rather than adding or removing, we'll just set it as y. So set pos y is in reticle. So So it is power slider. Add one. Add an object, which is the theoretical target. And that value is, can we pull the same value from here? So is that a thing? Where's the slide gone? No, it didn't take it. Let's have a quick Google on this, because I'd like to get this sorted before I put a demo up. Unity UI slider and value change. Public UI slider dot slider event on value changed. As a listener, main slider dot value. Is there anything else that gives you more of a clue as to how we're using a slider? So the slider seems a good thing for now. Oh, there are so many messages. Right, slider. Slider value from script. I want to do that anyway. Using Unity UI, public slider, M slider. Using game object find is very slow, but best to avoid. You can assign slider game object in this variable in the editor. Public slider M slide. Unless I just put it in there. Just link it. Need to import the Unity UI engine. Value. Let's put that as there instead. Rather than taking the value in there, we'll do that instead there. Does mean though, because the reticle needs to link it now. Cool. So reticle slider needs to have the slider control. Into there. So on movement that should increase where the reticle is. Hey there Lisa, all those cool emotes. Right, so it's not updating after the slider moves. So that's fine, that works. Maybe we need to calculate float y, and let's do it backwards here. So y equals that. Make that y. It's fine. Do the same up here. And it's a plus rather than minus. And this becomes a y. Oh, need to actually define it. And we want to then public void set slider that's going to be m slider dot value equals y. So that should then, as long as we copy it into here, use the keys, it will then adjust the slider, and if you use the slider it will adjust everything else anyway. And it's just the readjustment of the where it's pointing. I need to check. Let's give that a save because we've done a bit of work since saving. Okay, so that seems to be working okay. So it's just the getting it to readjust itself after the launch. So this code's fine. I'm happy with this code, unless this code can trigger off the other code. Background music's fine. Sound effects is fine. Trebuchet controller, I think, is fine now. Rumble generator, I'm pretty happy with that. I don't think I'm even using rumble generator, am I? Oh, it's a rubble generator, not a rumble. Castle crumble is what makes it fall down. I'm happy with that. Score, I'm happy. Oh, that's not score. Score, I'm happy with this. It's fine. Castle, I think I'm happy with the castle. It's all that mechanic's working fine. UI controls, that's only really changing what we're using, and that needs a bit of tweaking. I'll leave it open. Hit grid, I'm happy with that. Camera angle, not being used. Camera rotate, rotation, rotate left, rotate right, position. Yeah, happy with all that. Rock launch, I think this is where it needs to be. So angled up, angled down, angled direction. So this is where it's look at target. So game object, look at target. So target is making it look at the target. So it needs to be before I send the rock, really, doesn't it? And so that needs to happen. Needs to happen when I send the rock. That dim, cancel, cancel, save. Give us one test and then I'll push out for a demo and then see what you folks think. So I'd like to do a little bit of artwork for this, like a menu art, and when it says level complete, I like it to be to have a bit of artwork on that. IUIYOTOU. That's Donya saying hello. Hello, Donya. Well said. Yeah, that's a quote to have on a t-shirt, that is. The quote of 2025 is IUIYO bracket TOU slash 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 slash. Oh, missing one somewhere. There we go. I think Donya said it best when she said okay, I'm happy with that. Let's see if we can build it. Build settings. Don't have the background scene, do I? Don't need a background scene. It says no, because it's not coming up on there. It says I can compile it for Windows, Mac, and Linux, but when it goes, okay, what would you like to, out of those three, what would you like to make it run on? And there's only one option in the box, which is Windows. So if I run this on a Linux computer, it'll give me a Linux option. If I run it on a Mac, give it a Mac option. So I do have a Linux computer I can try running it on. See if I can make a Linux version. I can run it for Android. Make it run on Android. That'd be interesting. Thing is, if I wanted it to be on iOS for iPhone, then I'd have to have a Mac as well for that. Oh yes, that might work. Yeah. But yeah, I have options to make it for. Never going to use Linux ever again. At least not out of free will. Okay. It's fun to play around with, but it's a lot of a ball ache. Okay, it's compiling scripts. Oh, error on encoding for OBS, just for the moment at least. Because I'm trying to compile the game and stream at the same time. It's not happy about that. To be fair, this PC is doing well. I found out the other day I've got a fourth generation Intel i7. So it's about 11, 12 years old. Play settings. Cool. I should change this now, but I'll keep with what I've just made. Cool, so now have this in theory then. Do I need all of that? Let's run the game, see if this runs. I've sent the current situation in the animal chat. Oh, okay. Let's have a look. Oh. That's pretty cool. Typing's hard, yeah. Definitely runs a lot slower than on the test game. Cool. I shall now. I'll compile this into a zip and I'll stick this on my Discord. It's definitely, I need to work on making it a bit better. Let's delete the old version. So how big is this? 145 meg. So it might be a retransfer for a short time only. And the testing 35 megs, not too bad. Let's try that again with as a zip, not a RAR file. So no, not everyone can do RAR files. And see if there's much difference in the zipping. Oh, so a RAR is 35, a zip is 42. Now I'll do the zip because I know, yeah, RAR files require a separate program, whereas zips are universally sort of accepted by Windows. So let's get my Discord open. I'll put it in my main chat so everyone can see it. Let's switch over to main camera while I'm doing this. Raid, raid, raid! Yeah, we'll definitely do a raid. See if I can raid better this time. Because I actually hit raid and then forgot to stop streaming. So I need to stop streaming before the raid works. And then I hit stop streaming. And then sort of it ends up raiding. Transferring it to WeTransfer. Thank you for the stream. It was epic as always. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Jeffrey, Lisa, Dealer, Finn, that was in earlier. And thank you for the lurkers. Also have a hard time typing, don't you? Oh dear. Copy link. So go say good night now. Okie dokie. Good night. So if Shadow Wolf is live, I'll drop him a raid. My link to my test game is now on my Discord, so that should be live for a few days. If people want to give that a go and download it. So I'll still be working on it, making it better. Let's make a little note here. My game, I have been working on the past few months on stream. When the official release is there, I'm sure to make a 6 mod. Oh, I'm sure you will. Okay, let's see if we can see who's online then. Let's make sure Shadow Wolf is on. Yeah, I'm not sure how you put sex mod into that. Maybe throwing sex dolls or something, or explicit objects. We're going live. Who is live right now? I'd like to know who is live. Fame. Oh, there's Shadow Wolf. Shadow Wolf is live with Last of Us Remastered. That's pretty cool. Fame is live as well. Darth Liquid. That's a weird name to spell liquid. A couple of DJs on. Cool. Let's open up Shadow Wolf. We'll send a raid over there again. And yeah, next stream will be on Monday, doing some Stardew Valley. Right, so we can see if we can do this right this time. So raid a channel, search for channels, search channels to raid, Shadow Wolf, select. Yes, I know Shadow Wolf is not for everyone. Start the raid. Cool. I shall see you all on Monday. Have a good weekend. Let's go say hello to Shadow Wolf. Have a good night. Good night.